Hi, everybody. I'm Dylan Gott.
I'm the MILF. I'm John MILF.
That's John Hastings. Welcome to John and Dylan Online. This week, we're talking about the very mature subject of Cougs versus MILFs. Which one do we like better? Also, this inspired by one of my favorite live clips that a lot of these things now, obviously, this has always been the way with the internet. People are getting better at it, but you see a viral clip, it's clearly staged. But this one, not staged, where a man explains to another man, they aren't MILFs anymore, they're just women our age, and he tries to drown himself.
Oh, yeah. No, it's the greatest thing ever. It's also weird. Have you noticed yourself with your porn? It's drifting. I started with MILF. Now guess where I'm at? Gilfs.
You're at Gilfs?
Gilfs. Great grandmothers I'd like to fuck.
Oh.
Their veins are like a treasure map to the prize.
It's like I guess I'm like kind of a hipster because I've been jacking it to women being stuck since '98.
Is that true? You've been on that stuck train? I gotta say this about women being stuck. What the hell are we doing?
Oh,
they're not stuck.
They're
First
stuck.
of all, they can get out of that. They can get out of that washing machine, no problem. I think that you'd be more concerned about the person's spatial awareness if they think that they're stuck in that situation. I'm going to let you know right now.
They're stuck.
You also, I've been doing shows with the younger comedians. There's a lot of jokes about free use coming down the pipe.
Oh yeah, are they stuck?
I don't think that stuck. I think stuck and free use are different. I don't like either of them in terms
free
of
use is just a way to call a woman a whore, but then they'll catch up to it.
Depending though, because also free use is that, but also means free use means I just get to fuck you while you go around your daily business, which is a really weird subgenre. I fucked her while she was doing the dishes. Free use.
Whoa! Oh, that means, I mean, that's another comedian's joke, but that means you're doing that good a job if someone can still do the dishes.
Whose joke is that?
John Steinberg.
Pardon me?
John Steinberg.
Stolen, John Steinberg. I'm the new.
I had an
Carlo.
ex-girlfriend whose dream was to have sex while doing the dishes, and I have another dream that I can have sex that's so good that someone can't simultaneously be completing a household task.
That's a good bit. John Steinberg, very funny.
Oh,
but unfortunately, I'm stealing Carlos Mencia's thing, which is stealing jokes. What's weird is if you steal that from someone,
that's my thing is stealing.
That's now my thing. Hey, Joe Rogan, you yelled at me in 2006, not Carlos. I stole that.
You can AI that one in.
Oh my God, should we AI me into that video? No, I'm from Honduras.
Have you seen the video? These guys, it's an account called Entrepreneur, and they just do makeup. They make fun of all that like.
Is it two Australian guys? Because two Australian guys, one of whom I know, have perfectly started aping all of those like business talking at a wood table. One of which is just them discussing how they've killed their families. You're dead now.
Oh, I mean, if they're Australian, they don't have the accent, so I assume not. But he just puts himself on Rogan, and it's really well clipped and well filmed, so it does kind of look like he's on Rogan, but it's just about how he got himself addicted to meth because he's no bitch, so he can beat it just to show everyone how easy it is to beat meth. And
that's real good.
Obviously, the clip is him shaking and then doing meth. And then people in the comments are like, I missed this episode of Rogan, I guess.
Oh, that's the best.
No one... It's crazy what people will believe. Anyway, John, MILFs or Cougs, which one do you slamming for an hour? Let's do this fucking episode.
We're doing it for 45 minutes. 41 minutes now. I'm going MILF now. Do you know the origin of the term MILF? Get ready to hate your life. Linguist Laurel A. Stutton, I looked this up, states that MILF was one of the 9 terms for attractive women collected from the undergraduates at large linguist class at Berkeley in the spring of 1992. That is from Wikipedia. That is the most insane thing I've ever heard. I am now a right-wing person. Shut down Berkeley, them be pervs. If the linguists at Little Lord Fauntleroy's College for Albino Hemophiliacs, Berkeley Communist Versity, They literally are like, yo, people that just says with language, how do you describe a hot bitch? I like that. I guarantee the ultimate frisbee captain in the back row went, MILF, baby. And I'm talking about my mummy. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Here's what I do enjoy about that is that you don't need Berkeley for that. you can, like, some things should be coined by people who have trade jobs, and that's one of them. Rather, you didn't need a guy from Berkeley to be like, listen, I paused my thesis to invent 6 new words for tits. Melons, yabos. Also, it's like these motherfuckers are taking credit for something that clearly their uncle said. Fuck them.
Yeah.
I am right wing now.
Yeah, we're right wing now. Here we are at Yale, where the philosophers will decide how much cum determines a load.
Yeah. We here at Yale are studying what's the meanest thing you can call a fat chick.
Yeah. We here at Harvard would like to let you know that since Roe versus Wade has been repealed, we stand with all those bitches, cunts, and skanks.
So what are the other 8?
They won't tell me on the Wikipedia article. They won't. They just,
What?
I literally looked up Lord L. Sutton and 9 terms for attractive women. I'm looking it up now because it just in the Wikipedia it just gives you.
I want you to see something here. This is from the Wikipedia for Cougars, which when me and John, it was a big thing at least when I was younger. Even using Wikipedia as a source on a college essay, that was a divisive thing, and I think here's why. This is from the Wikipedia for Cougars. As you can see, it's just a picture of some cops, and then it says older women.
Here's my favorite.
This Wikipedia is fantastic. Here's another thing that made it onto it is the license plate that says Cougar.
Which I really like. I want to say this right now. Did you also see what it said? Go back to the Cougar license plate and read what it says underneath the Cougar. I was on this also. Parrot head. She's into fucking Jimmy Buffett. Yeah. Here's the 2 things you need to know about me. We're going to Margaritaville, and you're eating my pussy at Margaritaville.
My friend is high up at the Molson Amphitheater in Toronto. I forget what the company is called. Live Nation. Anyway, and he fucking said that Jimmy Buffett was their every single year. Yeah. Not even highest by like so much booze sales. Everyone just gets fucked, and then your fucking parents screw on the lawn.
I've been to Key West. There are 3 different. There's a official Margaritaville Jimmy Buffett bar, and then there are 4 bootlegs, one of which is just a breakfast restaurant with the most intense alcoholic bartender I've ever seen in my life. Like, red as the sun, angry as a beast. And Jimmy Buffett is, if everyone's like, what's wrong and best with baby boomers? I'm like, the career of Jimmy Buffett. He was a renowned poet, was thought to be the next Bob Dylan, had like an amazing understanding of both composition and word structure. And then they're like, if you sell a lot of records, you own that publishing, you get a bunch of money. He's like, yeah, I'm just making a bunch of songs about how being in this bar is good and how also this breakfast place is good. And also how having a woman is okay, but sometimes she leaves. And they're like, you could like contribute to society by mind-blowing people's minds with your art. And he's like, or I could write a fucking song about how key lime pie is good when you're hungover, and you can get the fuck out of my office.
Yeah, he obviously Cheeseburger in Paradise is one that does both of those things.
That's correct. Also,
Cheeseburger in Paradise, pretty good. Anyway, go for it.
Also, what I like about Jimmy Buffett, you know who one of his good friends was? Hunter S. Thompson. One of the funniest things he used to do when Hunter S. Thompson used to stay with him, he'd cut off the power and the phone line because Hunter S. Thompson always would set fires and then call a lot of long distance. He used a lot of his long distance. So he's like, I know how to fix this. Just cut the power on the phone in his house. We're just like, yeah, that's your friend, man. Like, if you're Hunter S. Thompson, he's like, maybe I should stop doing cocaine. That my friends are like, yeah, you can stay with me, but I'm turning the utilities off. I'm turning my house into a shed while you're there.
Well, that's another thing this is when rich people didn't have to post online all the time, so they fucking had nothing to do all day.
Yeah, they got to be in boats. They just got to be crashing boats. Also, do you know what the quote unquote woke term is for MILF? I only learned this in the research I did for this episode.
Elderly slut.
No, that is my preferred search term. It is WHIP. Women who are hot, intelligent, and in their prime.
Ugh.
Yeah, thank you very much. You're just
Why can't you just be?
Sir, you're not competing with MILF with that. MILF
No,
is
that's something that Karl Rove made up to make us upset.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that someone who will appear on the Joe Rogan Experience, and he's one of those things where you're like, "What's your job?" And he's like, "He's a rogue economics philosopher." And you're like, "Yeah, so am I."
I live in the woods, and all I do is when terms are, I just try and ruin fun things.
Oh my God. No one talks about how right now is the easiest time to get a job that some people that will make some people think you're a smart fuck. You want to know what I am? I'm a renegade economist, but for water. Get this guy.
I mean, as soon as you say you're like outside the system or whatever, but you're always like posting on X, then you're good. If your main one is X, come on, man.
I want to say this. I was thinking about this, which was, who do you think was really honest with themselves who were like, man, Elon taking over Twitter is going to be good? And then the day he changed the logo to just the most, I'm 14 and I know how to tell my mom to get out of my room, an X symbol, you're like, when in that moment did anyone go like, oh, I think we backed the wrong horse here?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anyone that thought Elon would do a good job. Who
we live in
doesn't
very
just
different
have
countries.
to accept that he's doing a bad job.
Like, you have to remember, I live in California where they every third person has a Tesla. All the Ubers are Teslas. Everyone's in a Tesla. It is real weird.
I'm just saying that if you thought Elon was going to do a good job, you haven't switched your mind and nothing can. That's what I meant.
Oh yeah, good point. Well,
like if you just decided it's good, yeah, it's good for free speech or whatever. The fact that if you go on a feed, your Twitter feed now is just seeing people die.
Oh my God! By the way, if you would like to, watch the war in Haiti, it is just on Twitter now. Like, it's just like,
I don't like that.
Well, that's on Twitter. All of the gang wars in LA are on Twitter, which is so funny. That's so funny.
Crazy. That's fucking not good. You used to have to like pay to see someone die. That was the decision you made. Not like, I was trying to click channels on TV and I just saw 9 deaths.
Yeah, exactly. I was just trying to tell people about my art show, and I just watched a kitten get decapitated.
Oh, God.
Like, you're like, what happened to? Hey, what happened to social media? Exactly what everything happens with human beings if you really break it down. What do you mean? Well, it starts off with good intentions, and then we figure out we can fuck it and use it for money, and then let me just be frank about my own people. And then the straight whites who are balding get involved, and then it's time to fucking shut her down because the divorced dads will find out, and then you can't give them a place to give their opinions because they look. I think we should be allowed to hunt them. You know what I mean?
Oh yes, I mean you can't give once you're a 35-year-old man and not due to anything about aging is just about wanting to remain cool.
Yeah, that's the biggest. That's the
it's
watch
just,
the fuck out.
What, dude? You get a 37-year-old man with no kids. Just fucking. What are they up to? Not no kids. I should say no long-term relationships. 37. Watch out. Unless they're like building, they're like, I'm into I work and that's what I do. You gotta have something that occupies your time. Otherwise, something weird's gonna take over. You're cult ready.
There is a thing you see going down specifically Melrose in Los Angeles, which is the 25
place.
It's close to where supposedly Melrose Place was set, which is just a t-shirt store.
That's cool.
You see the 25-year-old with the 40-year-old dude who is the boyfriend taking photos for social media. And every time, if you're very careful, you see my favorite thing, which is the guy taking a moment of thought. Like he's taking the photo. And it is spectacular every time.
Yeah, that is something that I think not a lot of people think about when you look at the inverse, where it's just basically a regular fucking what a man should be, what a man is owed by the universe, which is a girlfriend who's at least 15 years younger than him.
Yeah, Dylan says 20, but he doesn't want to be besmirched for his politics. Sometimes 25.
Yeah, I don't want to be censored by the woke mob.
That's right.
But is that half of the time, I won't even say half, probably more than half, the person with the power in that is usually the girl because she is making that man do things that everyone can see, like take a photo for Instagram, and they're like, every part of my being knows this is awful. I'm just going to do this quickly so I can go back to getting fist bumps from guys who are balder than me.
Yeah, I've also never understood any of that, where it's like you get to see this person's tits if you do all these things you hate, and it's like, well, a person whose tits are attached to someone that makes me do a bunch of stuff I don't want to do, I don't want to see those boobies anymore. They're filled with obligation and awkwardness. I'm out of here. Like, I've never understood that entire mentality. I've never understood, like, it's just like, like, you know what I mean? Like, I fucking hate this, but I'm gonna see her breath. Like, I've never understood the thought process of, if this person blows me, I'll give them something for free. I'll be like, no, just get blown on your own time. Get the money, you fucking idiot. I would be terrible as a producer for the Bang Bus. You don't need this drive. Walk. It's better for your legs.
No, I get it. Then you go into the bus, you bang, you're done. You don't have to, like, she doesn't have to watch him play video games, and he doesn't have to take pictures of her on top of a hike that was only for that one picture.
The idea, I will never forget. Well, I think this was like the 5th time I ever got drunk. A girl just explaining to me, she's like, I had to break up with my last boyfriend because the only time he would ever come is when he scored high on a video game and I was blowing him. And I was like, wait a minute, wait.
What is your name?
Yeah.
You seem very understanding.
First of all, would you like to know what video game it was? And this, I think, is the biggest indictment.
Need for Speed.
Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, people who really like Zelda are always fucking losers.
Oh
Anyway,
my God,
that came from nowhere.
I got the water element.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds great. Good for him that he, for sure, moved on to something that he also makes someone else feel like shit, probably.
If I recall, I haven't checked on that guy a lot, but that guy went real weird. That guy was in a
guy who's really into Zelda is weird.
I mean, Dylan, are you sitting down? You maybe want to lie down for how weird the story is.
An adult who bought a Nintendo is weird.
It was a Nintendo 64 that if I understood, was probably his roommates, but you are on the right course. Went Hare Krishna to Orthodox Jewish to very Christian, now atheist, but I think believes in QAnon. I haven't checked in on him since the pandemic.
You need a cult. He sounds like a good cult guy.
Great cult guy. Great cult guy.
Hey man, if the cult is making houses for the poor, let's go for it. If they're not,
that guy's dad once dropped him off at high school shirtless in the morning, and if I look back, I go, and that dad was shirtless because he was in the middle of a party and realized he needed to get his son somewhere, and luckily his son actually had to go to school, so he dropped him off for the first time.
Yeah, it'll happen where like you just end up shirtless, baby. That's a part about it's like being a dad and being a drunk 20-year-old girl. Same thing. Sometimes you end up shirtless, buddy.
You're just shirtless, covered in cum, taking photos.
No, you're not covered in cum. You're just shirtless, John. Don't make this dirty. Don't make this episode about MILFs dirty.
Yeah, you're right. Let's not make this episode about MILFs unseemly. So basically, there's a claim that it comes from Berkeley in 1992. I think it was just hovering around California at the time.
A claim from Wikipedia. Let's not take the
Wikipedia
It
was invented by American Pie. It was invented by American Pie, motherfuckers.
Popularized by American Pie.
And the reason why they say it's not invented is the screenwriter of American Pie says, I didn't invent it. I just heard it somewhere. But I think he invented it. And he's like, I don't need people who were really into MILFs thinking I'm their fucking John the Baptist.
I think that we should edit that Wikipedia where you just come up with some random name, Randy Boffo made up MILF on a construction site in New Jersey in 1984. That is way more likely than fucking Berkeley.
Yeah, I would also like if it's also implied that the screenwriter was sued by such construction worker who turned out to be surprisingly litigious. Hey, me and Hammer Randy figured that out after we both took big shits with the door open so we could still scope babes at the bus stop. There was a girl that was 50 there. We wouldn't have fucked her, but you'd like to see her pee, and we needed to call her something. And guess what? Hammer Randy knows how to spell, so we called her a MILF. M-O-T-F.
Yeah, I mean, this is the best thing about now is that we kind of know how some wars started in 300 BC, but you can track down specific slang because of Reddit to like the username of the person that came up with it now.
I'm broke as a joke, and I bought $100 of Reddit stock, and I tell you this much, I stand by it, because Reddit is everything that we just want from the internet. It's just a message board, but with exactly who you want from that message board. Type in a thing in the wrong group, you're getting fucking scolded, motherfucker.
Yeah, people are definitely way too into Reddit to let it die.
Oh, yeah. Also, Google doesn't answer just simple questions now, but if you put the question in and plus Reddit, you just get the answer, which I think is secretly what's driving their stock price, because it's super up, and I think it's just people are like, oh, like everything, we just like it to go back to when that thing worked. Okay, this is the hack, so it works again. Perfect, goodbye.
Oh, no, Reddit is donated Reddit sold all of everything that's ever been posted on Reddit to Google's AI, so Google's AI can scrape it because of exactly what you were just talking about, how people are typing in like how to build a fence Reddit instead of how to build a fence. So now the problem with Google's AI, I mean, this is being recorded ahead of time, so it's probably been fixed, or maybe it hasn't.
Guaranteed has not been fixed.
Since people make a lot of jokes on Reddit, it was giving people incorrect information. Like people would be like, how do I get in shape? And Google would be like, run with scissors.
The best
scraping
one?
like, yeah,
Can
the
you eat
pizza
small
with the
stones?
glue. Can you eat small stones? Yes. Yeah,
gasoline
exactly.
really fires up a spaghetti.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is Reddit is our god king, I guess. I mean, look at it. If you were to say two people were going to endorse Reddit, you don't even see us. If you're not watching the video, you could just draw
you'd
us.
just be able to draw us. Yeah, 100%. You'd be like, wait, are there two of them? Yeah.
I look like every right-wing meme come to life.
And I look like every guy that it turns out is right wing. You know what I mean? Oh, he seems really cool. And then it's just like, what a beautiful day and a beautiful sunset here on the flat earth.
Why is flat earth? Why can't you believe in social services but also think the earth is flat?
I mean, this is a point someone was making, which is I would be all for conspiracy theories if they just stuck to one. What makes it unbelievable is that you're into all of them. You know what I mean? Like he's like, I want to meet one guy that's just like, yeah, the earth is flat, and Harvey Lee Oswald killed Kennedy.
Well, I don't think flat earthers specifically, it makes sense for them to be right wing because they think the end of the earth is like this dome. Who's going to take care of the dome? You need a municipality. You need taxes.
Because I suck, I can tell how they become right wing is because climate change is bullshit because it's a flat Earth on a disc. The polar ice caps can't melt because then that would reveal the other thing. So it's just all bullshit. And then you're like, oh, that's how it happens.
Oh, that's more depressing than where MILFs came from. Anyway.
Oh, also, flat Earth it's one of those ones where it also somehow traces back to the Nazis, where you're like, God damn, you guys again? And it's like, yeah, hey, what's up?
Hey, I forgot what it was. It was some documentary I did during COVID, but the Nazis were apparently really good at the internet, and you can quote me on that. They were around the jump. From the jump, the Nazis were like, we're going to use this to fuck things up, and they did.
Sure, you are 100% correct. The Nazis were on the internet in 1990, baby. The FBI didn't have email until 2000, which is like where you're like, why weren't we doing crimes in the 90s, guys? Like, could one person have told me that?
John, shut the fuck up. We're going to talk more about MILFs and Cougs. Obviously, the idea of a older lady sucking off a young guy.
Pretty great.
Like, basically, there's some evidence, this is according to Wikipedia, which I don't believe, that the term cougar dates back to 1914.
It does.
When fucking Hitler was around and he said, that's a mint coug, and then a Jewish guy said, that's a bad term, and then that's how that happened.
Come on, is that true? Is that how that happened?
It's not the painting thing. They were wrong.
Is that true?
Yeah, they tried to shut down old Adolf on his lit terms.
Well, I'm glad that I'm a MILF man, because I won't be associated with any of the brown shirts.
Yeah, you want those shirts are brown? Hello. Cougs.
Yeah.
Anyway, and obviously, you're looking at The Graduate is probably the first mainstream Coug or MILF slurping off a clearly autistic guy.
He is so clearly autistic. Holy shit.
He's an autistic man.
Fuck. Holy
it's an
shit.
old woman taking advantage of an autistic man.
That The Graduate makes so much more sense now, where you're like, what the fuck is, what? what's going on here? And it's like this.
It's like Forrest Gump. It's like if Forrest Gump just got sucked off the whole time.
He did get sucked off the whole time.
We got sucked off once. Yeah, Jenny took advantage of Forrest Gump.
You've not seen the director's cut. The director's cut is a lot spicier. It's Tom's cut. It's what Tom wanted to make the movie, and Forrest Gump fucks everyone. Like, you know, the doctor that's like, hey, you know, when his mom fucks the doctor, after that, Forrest kicks the door and he's like, my legs are very powerful. And he kicks the doctor to death and then fucks his mom.
And then he meets and fucks the president.
He fucks JFK. Him and JFK fuck Mimi Beardsley in the White House pool.
Yeah, he pisses on Marilyn Monroe. It's a whole thing.
He pisses on Marilyn Monroe. The reason why RFK actually died is because Forrest Gump fucked his face so hard he blew out the back of his skull. That movie, by the way, is racy. Like, it is. He's spicy.
That's the first appearance of MILFs, is when Tom Hanks he breaks character and does all the sex scenes as Tom Hanks. He looks at the camera and goes, I'm Tom Hanks now.
Yeah, he looks at the camera and at one point goes, you'll understand this later, but Chet's this way because of me.
So yeah, obviously the idea of a 30-something woman with a guy in his early to mid-20s becomes very popular around the time of the Biscuit era, also known as Y2K. And this is exemplified by, obviously, American Pie. Then you get Sex in the City really jumps it off, too. You don't really... Sex in the City inspired a lot of women going through something to try stand-up comedy about how they're a cougar and then point at a guy in the crowd and go, you look yummy.
Oh, okay, yeah. This is a real... When Dylan and I started, this was when this was happening. The other thing you happened was a lot of comedians of a certain age that were dudes just calling cougars out. My personal favorite being the comedian Richard Lett in just a club where there were no old women. Just went, there's a lot of cougars here. And a woman went, no, there's not. And he just went, that's what a cougar would say. And then she went,
that's good.
It gets
Back
so
on
much
track.
better. It's so much better. It gets so much better. I'm 23. Cougar's not an age thing. It's a look thing. And then he just goes, rawr, which was the thing to get him into the next joke as a punchline. And then he just went to his next joke. And I've never seen this. The rest of the room ignored it. One table sat silently staring at the stage for 45 minutes. And then he closed on a slam poem about how he won't pay his landlord. And they waited to speak to him after he sold his CDs out of his pocket. Didn't give change. I'll never forget that. $25. Do you have any change? No. $30 now. Fucking nuts, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he invited himself to drinks with me and my high school friend, and my high school friend bought him a Coke and then asked him if he was homeless. And then he's like, no, I have a house. And then my friend said, no, you don't. And I was like, good job bullying that old guy. He's like, yeah, that was fun. Anyway, Desperate Housewives.
Ugh. I mean, Desperate
It was
Housewives.
satire.
Desperate Housewives first season, some of the best television ever. I'll stand by it.
Really?
It's so good. It's such a fucking fun mystery. But much like the show Californication, that and Californication should have just stopped after one season.
Californication, they don't have a name for that because it's just what every guy, like David Duchovny was what every married man watching that show. Californication's a show about like a writer who's also like loves rock stars. Like it just made every episode made me angrier and angrier, but you did see Susan Sarandon's daughter's boobs.
Californication is Gen X Entourage. Californication is Gen X Billions. Like it's literally like, don't you want to be this guy that we're going to make sure you think is real, but is not real? He just fucks people and then is brooding. And you're like, fuck yourself. He likes to write and he doesn't like it when people say LOL. And you're like, fuck off.
Yeah, he's tired of all this bullshit. And also, what is it called?
He does anal sex with people and the women don't. They like it when they do it, but they bring it up after they break up.
It's just a guy. He's a rogue. Look at his shirt's too tight.
He's wearing black shirts and jeans. He's wearing bloodstones in the summer in California, which everyone does inexplicably.
I always like to envision Californication as a continuation of Red Shoe Diaries, where it's like, oh, he's getting more. He's read all those letters and now he's doing more.
It's weird. I always like to think of Red Shoe Diaries as where Fox Mulder ends up. Oh, turns out aliens aren't real. I'm just going to accept some letters.
Yeah, exactly. Fox Mulder gets into writing and just fucks a bunch of widowers. That's
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's pretty much what it is. Weeds is another one.
Weeds is also a show. The Weeds is 2 shows. Weeds is a show. This is the pitch of Weeds. Suburban mom who turns out to be a drug dealer. That sounds great. I'd like to watch that. Yeah, and in season 4, she's just going to go on the run and become a super criminal, and all of her kids have superpowers. I don't want you to do that. I'd like the first show that I really enjoyed. No. It's the mid-2000s. I was a playwright for 6 months before I was able to convince someone to give me this money. I know how to tell a fucking story. How about that?
I mean, yeah, I never saw Weeds, but it just sounds like the shitty version of Breaking Bad.
I mean, I don't like Breaking Bad. To me, I've never enjoyed. Like, Breaking Bad has always been a solid 7 out of 10.
John, you are the hot take Hastings bad boy. I
never
love that shit. Yeah, fuck Breaking Bad. Why do you
I've never understood
hate
it?
Bad?
I'm like, oh, isn't it so crazy? This actor is acting differently than other times he was acting. Yeah, you guys must be blown away every time a fireman turns on a fucking hose. You fucking idiots. That's what the job is. Oh my God, it's the story of a guy who wasn't bad becoming bad. That's every story. Every story is someone starting doing something, and then something else happens. Yeah, but in this one, there's a bald DEA agent that's mean. That's The Shield. Let me explain to you how they pitched. Hey, we're going to do Sopranos, but the therapist is a meth dealer named Jesse, and also it's The Shield, and Michael Chiklis is his brother-in-law. Everyone suck my dick. My name's Vince Gilligan. Like, I just shut up.
Yeah, there you go. Fuck you. I watched it a bit. It was too intense for me, so I stopped. I watched Frasier instead.
Aww.
Yeah, I don't like it when you have to get through something. It's like a roller coaster or a scary movie.
Yeah,
I'm not doing this.
It's also
but completely okay watching. This is, I'm sure a million people have jokes. Completely okay watching a thing where I understand the whole time it's like a real story of a guy murdering a bunch of people, or a pro wrestling match where a guy gets like stabbed in the head. I'm fine with for some reason. But if it's a make believe about a scary clown, count me out. Jump scares, no.
Here's my problem. I completely agree with you. The problem with Breaking Bad, and I have the same problem with a couple of other shows, Hacks being the newest one I added to the list, is I can just guess what happens at the end of every episode. And I'm just like, I can't do that, because it's the problem with all those shows. They follow a certain rhythm. And I just watched way too much television for like 15 years. So it's just ingrained in my brain. Like, I'm like, okay, we're being shown that. That means at the end scene, we're going to see this. That song will play really loud there. Oh, it's the 3rd episode of the 1st season. Okay, they need to bring these 2 characters together, and there'll be a guest star. And the arc is like, this person's from their previous life, and now they're readjusting to the fact they can't go back to their previous life. They're in this life. And I'm like, that's every Oh, is it really good for 3 seasons? And season 4, you're not sure. And then season 5 and 6 are bad. Yeah, that's all of those shows. That's literally all of those shows.
Yeah, John realizes all your bullshit. He's Catcher in the Rye and all your TV stuff.
I'm fucking cooler than Catcher in the Rye. I'm Charlie Chappening. And this is the inside joke about that. Catcher in the Rye is supposedly written about the fact that Charlie Chaplin stole J.D. Salinger's girlfriend, who was, Dylan, I want you to guess that girl's age.
12.
13.
That's too old. Throw it out.
Why would you write a book about someone so old, about that cougar? Poor J.D. Salinger doesn't like cougars. You can have her, Charlie.
Yeah, there you go. It's back on track. I heard an episode about fucking, which is so funny that, cougar's a thing, and then it's like, but what about having sex with a just 18-year-old? That's just nice. Anyway,
yeah.
My wife told me about Anthony Kiedis' thing where he had sex with that 14-year-old and then confirmed her age and then fucked her again. That's good.
Oh, what? I don't know about that.
That's in his book.
Oh,
in
yeah.
His book, he's like, I fucked a 14-year-old, and then I confirmed that she was 14, high-fived my drummer, and then fucked her again.
Oh, my God. Anthony Kiedis' book is so insane. Like, him and Flea got into a big fight about it. I didn't understand. Then you read a book, and he's like, let me tell you who I fucked. Flea's sister, because she's a slut, and he's bad, too. She had bad breath, but I fucked her because I fuck people. And you're like, I thought this book was about your band. And he's like, no, we do not ever cover the music. We only cover the people I fucked.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Red Hot Chili Peppers are just a good funk band, and then a guy who's handsome who's unaware that he's a fucking idiot. Like, that's
Yeah,
it.
he has the worst kind, which is the what I like to, because also the thing to remember, Anthony Kiedis, the worst of all nepo babies. His dad was a coke dealer to the stars.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Anthony Kiedis' godmother is Cher because was Sonny and Cher because his dad was the coke dealer of Hollywood in the 70s. Blackie, damn it. Yeah, he then went on to be an actor. His only major role is he's the guy in a red flannel in the Lethal Weapon scene in the Christmas tree parking lot. He's one of those guys.
That's a different level of privilege to be a coke dealer and then decide I want a profile while still dealing blow.
That's so funny. It's like, look, not enough people know who I need some credit for all this coke I've been selling.
It's
Put me in a movie.
nuts, man. Like that was like when they said weed, like, oh, we should legalize weed in Canada, and I do think that's good as like a stream of income to spend money on building roads and maintaining libraries and whatever other stuff you need to do. But like there was a time in the 2000s where if you wanted to cripple the drug dealing industry in Toronto, you would have just bulk arrested everyone on the Yuck Yucks roster. Where it was like, yeah, man, arrest people in the club too. I mean, there was managers selling it. There were managers who were supplying it. It was like, fuck it. All those guys are gone now. But yeah, man. Anyway, Desperate Housewives. What was the mystery in Desperate Housewives? I never watched it. Because it seemed to me Desperate Housewives was like, okay, Sex and the City's already happened, and Desperate Housewives is, I'm sure, different enough, but when you're pitching those two things to me, I just don't see a difference. Sex and the City wasn't about, like, specifically older women with young men, of course. It was just like, I have an idea for a TV show. Women in their 30s that don't commit suicide because they're useless now. And they were like, it'll never work.
Well, no, one of the Sex and the City women, Samantha, was a MILF. Kim Cattrall's character was like, she was slightly older.
It was a cougar because she was a mom. She wasn't a mom. She was
Pardon me, she was a cougar, not a MILF. Thousand apologies. Bitch. I'm so sorry. So you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. I'm listening. I'm taking my lumps. Desperate Housewives.
Can we pitch this to the debaters in Canada? It's sponsored by the government. Difference between Coug and MILF.
Why don't we pitch this? I could pitch it. I'll pitch it right now.
Because it's for CPC.
Oh, the thing? Man, I got real close on one, which was just guns versus knives. So they were like, that's actually pretty funny. And I was like, we're never going to get this away. But
the only way we could do Cougar versus MILF is for BBC. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
British Broadcasting Corporation does not censor people.
That's also a thing people do on social media. They don't say, when they say BBC, they say British Broadcasting Corporation. They'll spell it out.
Do they really?
Porn websites. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
That's really funny. I'm just fucking the British broadcast. Adam 22 is profiting off his wife having sex with lots of British Broadcasting Corporation.
There you go. Anyway, John. So yeah, Kim Cattrall was a Coug, also the one that everyone hated.
Yeah, not me.
Everyone on the set hated her.
Yeah, I mean, I really like how people are shocked. They're like, can you believe that these 4 actors did not get along while portraying friends? Yeah, again, that's what an actor is. Also, second of all, if you've spent any time with highly successful actors, as I have, just know that you're getting one of two things. Either someone who thinks they're some sort of farmer or folk musician, or the worst human being you've ever met in your life. Like that it's either just this down to earth, like, I was just chewing the cud and drinking some of this fresh cream, or it's literally someone just going like, you're breathing in a way that makes me want to cut off your mucus glands.
Checking your phone like that is interrupting my character work. Or, yeah. I love the idea, and this is not just across the arts, this is everywhere. Guy who hates the thing he's really good at, like Billy Bob Thornton's like, I just want to play the blues, which I'm very bad at. Or just like, yeah.
That is nothing better, by the way, than stand-up comedians who are really good at stand-up comedy but want to be actors, because no one, when they switch to acting, takes it more extremely seriously. Edinburgh is the best place to see some of these guys, because occasionally people will debut their theater piece. Holy shit.
That's good. I mean, we've seen some good one-star plays. where it's like, it's written from the woman's perspective. What makes me, a 45-year-old man, know a women's perspective? I fucking hate them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, baby.
It's called We Are Boring Cunts. It's about my fucking mother.
Yeah. The show is about my wife. It's called You'll Be Dead at the End of It.
It's called Now I Get to Kill You.
Yeah. You're my property and I'm going to own you. Dylan, do you search? Here's the weird thing. MILF porn a thing. If you search, I assume if you type in cougar porn, you're just seeing someone fucking a mountain cat.
Try it out right now. We'll share it on the screen.
All right.
Try it out.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it, bitch.
I assume it'll just be like, MILF is like, then it's a different storyline. I would love like yeah. But also, like, once again, given that pornography is, I mean...
Cougar porn. It's, the first thing that comes up is just free cougar porn videos of hot, mature women spelled grammatically correctly.
Google Ads is ruining everything.
It's just MILFs again. There's no
cougar
difference.
Porn Reddit. You'll get the good
Great
stuff.
idea. That's a great idea. Let's see what happens there.
But it'll just be a different storyline, right?
Well, I've noticed what's interesting is a lot of the cougar videos that came up was a lot of threesomes, FMM. Maybe that's the distinction.
Well, maybe this, because this is a thing. You want to talk about this thing? I certainly don't think it applies to myself.
And currently in our cougar, it has a definition, by the way. The definition is cougars are 35 to 55. And the first post is someone has put, I'm 59, yo, fuck or ignore. Let's go to the comments. First one says ignore.
Okay, check this out. Cougars are lit. There used to be whole bars that were modeled after. This is something I think that is generational.
I think, in Toronto. This was only, I think, Crocodile Rock in Toronto.
There's Crocodile Rock that has since shut down, where literally it was, you would go there as a young man to try and have sex with older women. That was it. And the women who, because people, like, I feel like baby boomers got divorced. Gen Xers, like, viewed divorce as like a fucking life event. It's like, yeah, you go to high school, you graduate college, you get divorced, you go to Crocodile Rock.
Here's the thing. Here's what we don't realize is that there's sort of two baby boomers. The shithead baby boomers that were literally like, I killed your mom. They were the parents of the Gen X. So the Gen X divorce had to mirror their parents' divorce. So it was like so extreme. And I fucked your brother at your wedding. That was me, Heather. I was wearing a mask of my brother. You only fucked me. Like that's what they all were. And then millennial divorces are like the second wave baby boomer divorces where it's like, look, we thought this was going to work. It's not going to work. We've had a bunch of fights. We got to split our assets and co-parent. And then millennial divorces are that, but there's no money. So it's just like, hey, one of us has to keep living here, and it's exactly the same, only more resentful. Like,
yeah, that's the crazy thing where it's like, but I mean, it's so funny where a lot of those do make sense because, like, we don't have enough money to split our assets, so one of us moves downstairs. Let's face it. The man moves downstairs and the lady moves upstairs, but since the heat has gone so much, they just fuck people in the same building and neither of them give a shit. Or they're like, yeah.
I don't know if there's fucking happening in the same building. If your friend group fucking is happening in the same building?
Oh, that's just an assumption I've made.
No, I don't think fucking is happening in the same. For everyone I know that has done that, what they have learned is there's a reason why you should not do that.
Too hot?
It's what it is it's just like, as someone who's gone through a divorce or any breakup, you're like, you need a minute not to see the person so that you can just figure shit out. And imagine you're like, all right, I just need to not see this person. Let me go get some coffee in the same building we both share.
Yeah.
It's bad. You just never have a moment to fucking move on. You know what I mean? Just there.
I guess, but like I'm talking about, there's difference than divorce where you're there for a minute and then a divorce where like you're together for like 20 years and you're just like, I could just fucking, they could die, they could win the lottery, I'd have the same emotion. All right. Like that's what I've seen at least, where it's like you're people who are just like, they're at work, but they're not working. They put their 2 weeks in, man. They're just like,
Here's what I've seen. The best of the example of this is one. I know a couple that one of them is splish splash. Let's do a dash of crazy, and the other one is like you of like, I don't give a shit, man. We did this for a long time. We are done now. Don't like it. It is a really splashy, crazy divorce.
There's always one that doesn't care, and then one that's like,
That's what it is.
it's going to work out. You're like,
yeah,
all right.
and this, yeah, exactly, and like it's so fascinating because it is such an explosion. Like one of them is like, that kind of person that was real fun in your 20s, and now you're like, well, you're still going to Crocodile Rock, and we've all moved on to your song if we're describing our lives via Elton John.
Ooh. Well,
I'm the tiny dancer, Dylan.
No, I'm talking about one
the tiny
specific
dancer.
couple where they weren't getting along, and they lived in a triplex, and the apartment directly above them came up for rent. So the guy just rented the triplex, and then then he just moved his fucking beanbag chair upstairs, and they co-parent like that.
That's the best thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I guarantee
Yeah,
that
sounds
guy.
good.
I guarantee that guy loves that. First of all, those kids have never been upstairs, and second of all, that guy has no furniture up there by choice, loving it.
Oh no, every day the kid just walks upstairs, downstairs, upstairs, downstairs. Very nice. Then he almost owned a house, John, for $18,000,000 a month. Anyway, John, let's talk about probably the reason you specifically kept telling me you wanted to do this episode. But we talked about all the stuff around the real thing you want to talk about. Let's talk about the MILF Hunter, John. Best, worst
thank
scenes.
God. Well, which one? The original MILF Hunter or those?
I don't know. Wait a minute. Oh, there's a guy who like Gallaghered the MILF Hunter.
Well, supposedly, I don't know. I also looked up MILF Hunter before we started, and all I saw was a post from who I recognize as the MILF Hunter from watching the MILF Hunter in 2007, looking much older, going, "I'm back." So I assume
I'm back. It doesn't work that well. The scenes are long because I lose focus.
Yeah, it's back. It's bumpy now. Weirdly, none of the women will be returning. They have all moved on. I am still here. That is not sad.
I don't have enough jizz to make it impressive anymore, so I just curdle some milk and throw it at their chest. I have to pay so much for them to do the scenes now.
Yeah. No one believed me that I did this, so I'm starting to do it again. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I've tried Uber. It didn't take out, so now I get $400 a month for this. Yeah, John, that was.
Here's what I always think of when I think of the MILF Hunter. Two comedians we both know were at the Edinburgh Festival in 2012. One of them went out for a walk and they were sharing a room, so the other one went, this is how they told me the story. I'm going to jack off to some MILF porn. The other one who had gone for a walk came back immediately because they got into a road rage incident where they ended up kicking a car. Dylan will now be able to, I think, figure out who these were. The other guy walked back in the room on the guy's jacking off to MILF porn, and the guy who walked in seeing a guy jack off goes, "You jack off to MILF porn too? That's good to know." And then just went in the bathroom and let him finish up.
And the guy finished up.
The guy finished up.
That's nuts. Yeah. That didn't ruin your mood at all.
That guy told me that. That guy told me that. And then that guy got so drunk he got kicked out of the Gilded Balloon in Edinburgh, which the only other time I've ever seen that, I had to tell security to do it because they were interrupting late in life. And now it is.
I mean, if you are making eye contact with your friend and then you keep on jacking off, then
look at the names.
Yeah,
first name was the jacker. Second name was the returner and the congratulator.
Good stuff. All right.
Once you see the names, you're like, oh yeah. Both of those guys are into horror movies in a way where you're like, gay.
MILF porn. Anyway, yeah, I guess was it always around? It was always around.
No,
they just came up
Pie.
with a funnier name for it. No, but I mean like the older lady, younger man thing has always been around.
Yeah, especially in like sort of like East Coast. Like a cougar to me is also very much like a waspy yuppie lady. You know what I mean? It's like a woman in her 50s in tennis clothes going, "Oh, I wouldn't mind seeing your Todger."
Yeah, the whole bang a salesman thing.
Of course. I don't think any of that happens. As someone who's gotten older and older, I don't think any person has ever thought when they open the door to a traveling salesman, "I'm going to suck this guy's dick." Most of them want to be like, "I'm going to beat this guy to death with his fucking clipboard." Who would know?
Traveling salesmen don't exist anymore. It's just a guy who has an AI version of your daughter's voice draining your bank account.
No, yeah. I live in California, my friend. Here's the thing with America is people have hope here in a way where they're like, no one's tried that thing for a while. Let's try that. We're bringing it back. We're bringing door-to-door vacuum salesmen back. It was a bad idea. We're doing it. Confidence always wins.
I think that the main difference between a Coug and a MILF is Cougars are single and MILFs staying at home. We did it. We got to the bottom of the slimiest subject we possibly could.
Who's the oldest person you ever had sex with?
My wife.
That's good. My answer, your wife.
Yeah, the oldest person will keep ascending in age as I remain married.
Is that true? Oh, yeah. I didn't. Yeah, that's true.
I guess the other way to say that would be largest age gap. And then, I don't know, I'd have to think for a while. But not too much.
Mine's very reasonable.
What's yours?
It's 29 to 24.
Okay.
I was 36. That was the girls I
There was two of them.
Here's my favorite, though. Have you ever been with someone who is giving you the age difference that they think is fine and then someone else does not think it's fine? That's the greatest meeting of two storm fronts ever. Yeah, I'm 40. She's 24. What? Oh, what a fun evening of drinking that was. What's wrong with that? I think you know what's wrong with that. And this is my favorite. Why do you think you and I have the same definition of what's wrong? And it was just very good. Very good.
Oh, my goodness. The amount of times where a man has told me I'm in the company of my wife and a man has told me the age difference of someone they're poning, and then I'm like, okay, and then she basically tries to liken them to R. Kelly, but it's like 10 years difference where I'm like, what do you want? 40 and 30 is not bad.
Yeah, 40 and 30 is not bad, especially for show business in Canada. Like, I've said this a million times, I'll never not say it. The reason why there are no more improv schools is because people finally figured out that those were pyramid schemes set up so 30-year-olds could fuck 19-year-olds. Like,
Dylan's
still teaching a couple of Herald
classes. No, I mean, there's improv classes, but I just don't do the improv.
Get the fuck off the show. Yeah, but it's like, it's so fucking nuts where it's like, 30 to 40, that's a bit much. And it's like, bro, I remember being a comedian with a guy who did improv and he had a 19-year-old girlfriend and he was a 32-year-old. Like, you're like that.
That's good.
Oof, indeed.
One of the most divisive things I've ever heard brought up in public was my cousin went back to school and he got an HJ. He was 35. The girl was 19, got an HJ in class. Every man I told was like, does your cousin teach a class? I have thousands to give him. Every woman was like, if I meet eyes with that man, I'm reporting him to the police.
I want you to know nothing says Southern Ontario more than that whole last sentence. I got a cousin. He went to that weird adult high school that every Canadian city has. He was 35. Used to be a welder.
No, he took a general business class.
Was he in like
in
a weird
college?
He was in like, okay.
She was taking night classes because she's a very high achiever, and she wanted to have another course on top of her already full course load. He's a man who took a business class because he does a lot of construction, and then they told him he had to stop taking cash only. And then she branched out and touched a man that she'll never, hopefully, I hope on her behalf, never touches anyone like that again.
Yeah, she was like, what's that smell? And he was like, export cigarettes.
Yeah, it's pretty much like, it's the sexual equivalent of when you touch dog shit when you're a kid. You only do it once because you know it's gross.
All right, I know that's the worst thing that's ever happened.
Yeah, or like you try cat food, you're like, oh, that's fucking gross. That's what she did with that sexual experience.
I feel like we're now branching into some things your son has recently experienced and you're just sharing with the group.
I was the cat food. Do you want to know why?
Yes.
My mom said, I was like, cat food's pretty cheap. She said, yeah, my mom's also at fault in this story. She said, poor people eat cat food. That's all they eat, like to try and scare me. And I was like, all right, I guess see if I'm poor, I got to eat some cat food. I ate cat food. I'm like, that's kind of gross. And then she was like, you ate the cat food? I was like, yeah. You said, I don't know. Maybe I'll be poor one day. I got to get cat food. She was like,
How old were you when you did this?
Too old. That was 31. No, I want to say I was like 7 or 8.
Oh, I thought you were definitely in your teens. Like I thought this was like a 14-year-old Dylan with thinning hair even then.
To heavyen up the mood, my father was dead, and I was like, and she was just trying to like, she wasn't doing much parenting. She was just kind of like, it's like in a movie where you get shot in the arm and you drive into the hospital, you know? She was just trying to not get hit by other cars. I don't know, poor people eat it, whatever. And then her fucking oldest is like...
Yeah. Both of our spirits are giant holes of sadness. Just fucking eat whatever you want. I don't know. Do you want a cat? I'll fucking kill it. Let's eat cats. Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how are things going? Well, I mean, my oldest, don't want to brag, but he finally tried cat food.
Yeah. Hey, look, your son did so well at that Montessori school. They're renaming it after him. And my son prefers dog to cat food. Dylan, let me ask you one last question before we go. Do you know anyone who's in a Steiner school? Still truly the most insane thing ever.
Oh, what?
So Steiner is like the more hippie version of a Montessori school where you learn at your own pace. So much of it is done outside. You like don't cover subjects until you're like 15. For example, I met a kid who was in a Steiner school and he did not know, he was 4. He could not count, but he could make bread.
I mean, both of those seem like good things to know.
Here's the thing: is with the Steiner School experiment, I need to meet 100 of the 18-year-olds that came out of there, and then I'll decide. Because that one kid could make bread. That kid's either going to turn out real cool or be a type of shitty that ends with a lot of articles you saw about Harvey Weinstein. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we both like wrestling. When you say Steiner School, it's not. I just think we go. All right, you get out here and get fucking. All right, you fucking want to get. You want to get. All right, Steiner School. Here's the first class. You make bread, then you wrestle me until you beat me. You can't make no bread.
All right, we're in my show's location. We're gonna make the secret sauce. Secret sauce is you and me fighting. I'm naked. You are fully clothed. Why are you naked? I want you to know I don't have any weapons on me.
Type of biology. I take a shit. You watch it. You look at you. Tell me how big it was. If you could take shit bigger than mine, then you win.
Here's what I want you all to know about me. I like bread. I don't like math. Make me bread. No counting.
All right, by the end of this class, you will know how to get a dog to suck your dick without peanut butter. Steinerized.
Yeah, right. Here's the thing you gotta do. If your son is about to make a very big promotion, you want to show up at a corporate event of that company, and you want to just start talking about trans people and women. You want to talk about it negatively, and you want to do it loudly. So loudly that a man named Lance Storm tweets about it. Now, Lance Storm has every fucking teacher energy if they were one guy, and I fucking it up. I love you, though. Stutterers.
There you go. All right, John.
This episode was about MILFs, I guess.
Yeah, this episode was about MILFs. Next episode's about Don King.
That's right. A man who stomped someone to death.
Stomp someone to death. Not the worst thing he's done. Goodbye.